Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to week 2 of Ascent. I'm Peronius. Joined with me again is Akira, if you were here earlier, and we are here for this game between Golden Mario and ADJ Bears.
Yep, and this is actually a rematch, Peronius. So these guys met in the finals of the Unreal Aussies tournament a few weeks back, and the Bears did win. They do, however, have a sub today, so we're going to see the the Golden Mario boys try and edge this one out. This is a rematch. There is pride on the line for this one here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely going to be an interesting grudge match between these two teams. We will be starting out, as usual, on Lijiang Tower, and it looks like we'll actually be starting in Gardens this time, so we'll see if the more space this map stage provides leads us to some interesting team comps here.
Yep, and we are going to see some Lucios coming out. I'm going to see if they come for a sneaky off-the-bat start. You can wall ride from spawn across the bridge and actually make it to the opponent's bridge before they've crossed it and get a sneaky boot. I don't know if these guys are going to do that or just going to speed their teams out. It looks like both these guys are just going to speed their teams out. Though this Wrecking Ball striker, is he going to try and boop?
He's going for the back boop. He's going in for the slam, actually. And that's an interesting opening engagement there. A lot of pressure being put onto the members of ADJ Bears there, and the early kills coming through as Son and the Zahir go down. However, Ray does get the trade kill back onto Striker, but that will be the retreat as ADJ Bears do go back to spawn to regroup.
Yep, and that is a really, really nice regroup call from the Bears. They do just go, hey, we've lost this fight, let's just get out, not give them any more ult charge, or stall a point. There's nothing worse in this game than just stalling the point for no reason. Though, at the moment, this Wrecking Ball
DMT
really far behind.
For that one, and he's going to get taken out at the start of this fight. We do have Andy popping the Valk to try and keep the team alive. The trade kills are not coming back. There goes Ray and Son as well. This is going to be a decisive cleanup here for the members of Golden Mario.
And on the side of the Bears, they did pop the Mercy, which is really unfortunate that they didn't win that. DMT, though, went in a little bit early. His team wasn't there with him. And unfortunately, he just gets picked off before that fight even starts. Really great turn there from Golden Mario, though. Recognizing that he's out of position and just turning all the focus they can onto him. DMT,
yeah, we're actually going to see DMT, going over onto the Sombra here. And here comes the initiation from Ray. Tanks are diving in, and there's going to be a lot of pressure put down from that Pharah in the sky as well. So far, no kills coming through, but a lot of damage actually being put down. Ray on the brink of falling down there. There he goes.
This is second
Ray
fight.
and DMT getting picked up there. Come on, bro, not getting anything with the Diva Bomb. Ray does get rezzed by Andy, but Andy pays for it for his life. And Golden Mario is still firmly in control at this point.
And it is, and we're just going to see this Diva hopefully be cleaned up here. If Common Bra gets DMX'd here, this is utterly horrible for the Bears. He isn't though. Luckily, Andy's going to heal him back up. But there's something just not quite working here for the Bears. And we're going to see... Oh, here comes the Diva Bomb.
Oh, that's
the
Fury.
Man! Full on Fury. Huge Diva Bomb from him. And this is now 10% left on point. The Bears have to do something right here, right now. 5%. Are they going to be able to touch?
They do. Looks like they have DMT on point with the Sombra. They are going to get the touch there. But it's just the tanks and DMT alive at the moment. Their support's still coming back. GameStar actually pulling out the Transcendence, perhaps a little unnecessarily. And he goes for the res and gets booped away. Huge heads-up play there by Danzy. And this is looking like Golden Mario all the way here, as there's still just a couple of scattered members left of Bears. They're trying. Andy is now out of the fight. Zahir still on the Pharah, not able to even get into the point, and it is just Ray alone now against the world, struggling to get anything done. DMT makes it back on, but gets deleted by GameSty, and that will be a decisive victory there by Golden Mario in this first stage.
Wow, what a Diva Bomb from Full On Fury. That just staggered them so perfectly. There was 10% left, and he got the triple. And that means that the Bears just didn't have a chance to actually regroup to try and contest this fight, to contest that point properly, and just had to kind of stagger it out.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that bomb won that fight.
Absolutely, and it is very important to head check those diva bombs. All of those characters hiding behind the wall, they thought they were safe. If you head check it at the corner, because the corner is right there, you'd be able to see it's going to land behind the wall and you need to move in front of it. So definitely could have been avoidable, but yeah, just getting a little complacent there and expecting it's not going to clear the distance and not actually checking the trajectory of that. That said, we're moving over to Control Center here, and we're running a very asymmetrical fight here by the looks of it.
Bears didn't change their comp up at all. I would like to see Andy sticking a bit more with his Pharah. He did, you know, yes, the rest of your team needs healing, and yes, you have a Lucio only to do it, but if you're going to commit to this pharmacy, you really need to commit to the pharmacy, and maybe swap this Lucio for like Moira or something for just a little bit more heals. You don't really need the speed. You've got a really mobile comp with this Lucio, with the Hammond and this Pharah.
Striker hacked out, a lot of pressure getting put down onto the main tank, but he is getting the healing now. That's going to buy him the space. Oh, there goes Andy as well, trying to pick up, presumably, Ray on the Wrecking Ball, getting punished there. That's going to be the reset from Command Bra, and once again, this one will be a decisive fight win, but it looks like we are going to a pause here.
Yep. So, Golden Mario doing really good on this first push. It looks... I'm not too sure. Is it a case of the focus is lacking from the side of the Bears? Is it a case of someone's popping off on the side of Golden Mario? But these fights seem to be not lopsided, but just... I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
Yeah.
Slow wins. And they're not
absolutely.
It's like the fight looks decided before the fight starts. The Golden Mario, they just go in and just start slow pushing, and the Bears just have to give space. And then the space becomes kills, and then the kills become staggers, and then the Bears just have to give even more ground.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially if you're running that multi-DPS comp, which we are seeing sort of a flavor of, I suppose, out of the Bears. It's not really the quad DPS, but it's at the same time they are running the highly mobile sort of Pharah, Sombra, Wrecking Ball, Diva comp. They did get a lot of early pressure on. Striker was hacked out and very low. Yep. They weren't able to get the damage through to follow through on it. And as a result, you see Golden Mario able to adjust to that and to sort of bend back, regroup themselves, and reassert themselves forwards once they're ready to pick the fight.
Yep, and Golden Mario, though, are now also getting really, really close to the ults. We're going to see this Brig ult, 95%. Lucio ult, now 80%. Striker goes down.
Brawl wakes out. Not Rod has popped the Brigitte ult, but is right in the thick of things, does manage to actually back out. However, they are still on the back foot here without their main tank. Ray gets stunned, but that's going to be a Deadeye coming through from Necrush there, just trying to buy some space. Actually picks up DMT there. That is a huge pickup, and they are going to pop the Transcenders now to aggress forwards. Answered in turn by the sound barrier, but the kills are still coming through. Andy and Ray getting picked up as well. That is a huge fight win from Golden Mario, and they were definitely on the back foot there for quite some time.
Alright, and also, just got to point out, Striker with incredible trigger discipline, not going to pop the Reinhardt Earth Shatter in that one. They now have the Diva ult, the Zarya ult, and the follow-up to stop the...
There's the shatter coming through from Striker, and he gets his counterpart down. Diva Bomb moved to answer it. It's going to buy a lot of space, and the Zahir has actually been picked up in the Chaos. DMT under a lot of pressure as well. And GameStar, though, the fight has broken out into about 4 different places. We do have the grab committed there from Full On Furry just to clean up the supports there. So definitely pays off there. They are going to keep control of this, but that got very messy.
85% here, Peronius. And this Full-On Fury on the Zarya is really, really high charge. He's doing ridiculous damage at the moment, and that's one of the reasons they won that last fight.
Absolutely, but Striker in a lot of trouble there. Still hasn't been healed up after the last fight. Because the heal is still just coming back, but they do not get onto the point. And so Golden Mario will take Lijiang Tower in a 2-0 lead quite decisively. I believe, were both of those 100-0 as well?
Yes, they were. So, Golden Mario have learned from their past mistakes. And here we're going to see the Diva Bomb from Full On Fury, which won them this last fight. And, look, the triple kill That's absolutely huge. They can't push off that. They just can't push off that.
No, you've lost both your supports and half of your damage. There's no coming back from that. And unfortunately, that's just going to mean that that's the end of Lijiang Tower. And so once again, we will be moving over to Escort next, and it will be on to the Bears to decide their poison between Dorado and Rialto.
I want to see a Dorado here, Peronius. I just love the map. We saw the Rialto earlier, and we saw the full hold come out. And from that, I know now what can be possible in Rialto, and I think the Dorado might be a much more exciting game. And the first point of Dorado, that first choke, you can see some very serious skill come out on that first point. And
yeah, absolutely.
Especially with the way these guys were playing, the Bears tried some good stuff with the Pharah. Pharah works quite well on Dorado first point, and if that's what they're defaulting to, it's going to default better than Lijiang control point. Like, the control center is not a great. It's a Pharah map. Like, you can play it, but it's not like this is why I'm picking Pharah, because of this map.
Yeah, absolutely. But so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if we do go over there. Obviously, Dorado is also, of the two maps, the one that probably has the most variety in team comps, because of course that second point is so verticality is so important for that one. Whereas obviously Rialto, you can pretty much get away with playing the same comp more or less throughout the whole thing. So Dorado tends to necessitate some changes, but it's also. Yeah, we also just plain see a lot of variety in there. There's a lot of long sight lines, but there's also a lot of tight corners. And so you can really play into a wide variety of different team compositions. It's going to be interesting to see what they come up with if they do take it there.
Yep, and it looks like it is actually going to be this Dorado. I am very excited here. So first point, I'm expecting a nice slow comp from the attacking team. Maybe something to boot people off high ground, just a little bit of early contest. And then second point, going into the dive, just to contest this high ground, or maybe even a Widowmaker just to contest this high ground. And then third point, if it gets that far from that last showing, maybe some more slow comp again from this attacking team. However, we're going to need to see what these teams actually do, not just speculation here, Peronius.
Yeah,
absolutely. 15 seconds.
We are indeed, and so all we've got left to do now is just sort of fill a bit of time while we're waiting for that to happen. But it's going to be interesting to see here, because obviously we are going to have Golden Mario taking the defense here, and we're going to see the same sort of lockdown from them. They've held 2 points quite convincingly so far, and it looks like they're coming out with the McCree Junkrat here. Maybe not McCree, no, they're going for the Ash Junkrat, which has been very powerful so far. It's a lot of choke point control, while also still allowing them some long-range hit scan damage. So it's definitely a very potent combination, given this first point.
Yep, and especially Netcrush's Ash against the Zaz Pharah. If you got no hit scan against the Pharah, you're not going to have a good time. Though DMT on the Sombra, he does really like this pick. He's played it since way back when, Season 7, and I'm really expecting to see a really nice combo between the...
that's a nice early anti-nade onto DMT, though. He gets very low and has to back off, so good opening play, and we're going to see a very early rotation from the defenders here. They want to set up under that arch. They know what their comp is strong at. Although the DPS perhaps haven't gotten the memo yet, and games start getting picked off.
Yep, and so this is what you want to do here for if you are the Bears. You just want to free push this and not take too much damage, not give too much ult charge over. It's nice getting the picks, but you don't need them. But now they're past the hardest bit of this map. They're past the choke point with not a lot of contention here, and the Mario just have to pull back and Ray in the backline. This could be really bad.
Ray is putting a lot of pressure on them. Does finally get picked up, but had certainly been attracting a lot of attention. The Zahir did go down in that fight, but has been res. And unfortunately not Rob has been picked up as well. So The attackers do retreat here temporarily, but they are going to have the opportunity to push 5v6 now.
Yeah, but Peronius, that is just past the hardest point in this map. They're actually out of the choke point now. So they can walk through, and the Junkrat won't have so much effectiveness. He can't just spam into the choke and just guarantee most of his little shells are going to connect. Oh, now he actually has to, you know, use a little bit of skill, has to aim. So keep an eye on this Junkrat and, you know, see if he's actually going to be able to hit these junk bombs. And they're going to pop
Comes
the
in
ult.
with the ult there, dropping down the minefield, and Striker actually getting bullied into a corner here. Sound Barrier committed just to bail out their main tank, but GameStar has gone down during all of this. Necrosh does pick up DMT yet again, so that's a good start for the defense, but Grav being committed there. They're not going to have all the tools they need. They actually do manage to keep everyone alive during the grab with the help of that biotic grenade, and the kills actually coming through. The defenders will manage this one out. Good bob there from Netcrush as well, buying them a lot of space there on that payload. As Striker now taking a nap, but the attackers are being sent back to spawn.
Ana going to try and, you know, hide out a little bit, lie low, but Full On Fury is going to be like, yeah, no, you're not allowed to try and hide. I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you. That was 3 ults popped by Golden Mario to hold that one, and the 2 from the Bears. So that was Andy and Come On Bruh, which was the Ana and the Zyro ult committed by the Bears. And that was Dan's down Barry, not Rob's, Ana, Nano, and I believe there was one more.
Yeah, Necrush did drop the bomb during that one, but it looks like there's the EMP, and here comes a barrage from Zahir, drops in from behind, is not actually going to get anything from it, however. Necrush ready, they did know that he was back there, but the res comes through, and the kills are still coming through. GameStar picking up 2 with the tire. This is still anyone's fight, but at the moment the payload is in control of the attackers. GameStar now trying to equalize it back, and it's just Zahir alone. Again, Striker now on the Reinhardt coming back means that he is going to have to back off. But reinforcements coming through from the attackers. Ray's going to go in, gets the nano, and is going to go deep on that wrecking ball. The slip dart misses. Song gets a huge biotic grenade that picks up Rob and Danzy. That is absolutely massive, and this payload is moving through at a crawl. Striker taken out now as well. They are going to get the cap there, but what an incredible back and forth fight that was.
Wow! So unfortunately Striker whiffed the Rhino ulti, but that was an absolutely huge play from GameStar there. He managed to take out 3 and only just narrowly lost the 4v1. He nearly solely won this point. However, the Bears turned up a little bit faster and managed to just push it out. So congratulations to them. They're going to push past this first point and move on to the vertical second point section of Dorado. I really am going to be questioning the verticality of this point, especially with Zahir swapping from Pharah to this Widowmaker. I said this is now a point for Widowmaker, but Pharah is great for this verticality.
There goes not Rob getting it knocked through that minefield and just deleted. This is going to be the big opportunity they're looking for. Grav being committed as well. Bob is in the grab. That's going to be a lot of ultimate charge for Ray to get a new minefield up. And EMP is just going to turn off Bob as well. Striker under a lot of pressure there on the payload, does get picked up. Necrush's Bob has been taken out as well, and so it is just clean up on the payload. However, there seems to be some reluctance to push forwards, and GameStar actually picks up Zahir with the trap in the background there. It looks like the defenders might actually be able to weather this one. The attackers don't have a main tank, a traditional main tank at least, to push forwards, and they seem to be really struggling with the forward momentum due to that.
Yeah, GameStar sitting on this high ground, just free raining down all these bombs, and the Bears don't have any answer to it. The Zahir just had to give that high ground over to that Junkrat, and he's doing just creating so much pressure and so much space. As the attacking team, you really need to control this high ground, either the left high ground or the right high ground, depending on. And with the cart pushed this far forward, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears jump onto this right high ground,
That's a
which
big
looks like
opening
they're going
kick
on.
though. Necrush gets taken out by DMT. This is the
look at
opportunity,
this.
but GameStar, look at where he's sitting. Oh no, Andy is in so much danger there. Here comes the tire.
Oh!
Zahir trying to get it. Tyre actually ends up getting fired off early, and Zahir gets game stay in the end, but the kill's still coming through in favor of Golden Mario. This is, with 15 seconds on the clock, they're going to struggle to even get the touch. They do have a Wrecking Ball. They should be able to get a cart touch, but it is not going to be a clean fight. It's going to be very difficult. Nano actually being committed onto Ray as he comes in. That'll make sure he can get that touch and stay alive. But are they going to be able to get anything done, given how scattered they are? Striker with a huge free shatter.
Where's the Nano? Where's the Nano?
Devastating for the attackers. And there's some dragons through. That's actually huge dragons, but the kills not coming through. Sound Barrier saves the team, and this is still looking like everything is going in favor of Golden Mario here. It is just clean up on the cart. They're just not getting anything done, and that will be the payload stops.
Wow, those were some amazing fights here, Peronius. That last fight, they got the touch, and then they just popped everything. And that's what you got to do in overtime. You just have to drop the ults. They didn't hesitate, and they just went, yes, we are going to win this fight. They dropped the Ana, they dropped the Reinhardt, they just dropped everything in that last fight, and just cleaned it up. And that's what I absolutely love to see. Golden Mario holding that really, really well. I gotta say, GameSci on this Junkrat, right? Junkrat has a really bad reputation. He's got the reputation of he's the spam god. He's just gonna throw his bombs into choke. We're not seeing that. We're seeing the high ground taken. He's contesting the Widowmaker of all people.
Yes.
And he's just giving them no space to go in. He's just being the perfect zone control DPS. And I just have to throw out here, he's playing amazingly in this game thus far. I want to see what he's playing on this attack, because I nearly wouldn't mind another Junkrat just to see the zone control and to see if he can get these bears off the high ground.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to be said for the sort of team comps you run here that are able to just take control of that opposite high ground on the attack. And it looks like he's currently showing the Zenyatta. I don't think that's what it'll be in the end.
No.
But let's have a look at the defenders here while we are waiting for things to get underway.
Yep. And we are going to see a dive defense coming off. We're going to see the 3 tanks, the Winston, the Diva, and the Wrecking Ball. And there isn't a lot of damage with the Sombra. There isn't a lot of damage. There's a lot of hacks. There's a lot of potential, and space created. But what are they creating the space for? That's what I'm really looking for this team comp. If Andy gets a good anti-grenade, this should be a really easy fight for the Bears. But if not, who knows where this is going to go?
Well, Danzy picks up the Zahir early in that one. That is absolutely going to be a big opening there. But it looks like we are seeing almost a mirror match here, because on the part of Golden Mario here, they're actually running their own triple tank team with their own Winston, Diva, Wrecking Ball. So neither team running a lot of high impact DPS. Danzy on the Zen is going to be the main source of attacker DPS. Striker getting hacked though is absolutely devastating. He is going to get punished there. Gamside pushing in to try and save him, gets picked up and punished for it as well. And this should be the opportunity for the defenders to hold it here, thanks to a couple of members overextending to try and save their teammate.
Yep. And one thing I really wanted to point out is that early pick on the Zahir didn't actually really matter, because that first entire street phase before that choke point, before that arch, is usually entirely uncontested. So them losing the Zahir there, it didn't matter, because he got back in time for the arch fight. And I really, really want to see the Bears here holding this arch, because this is the most defensible position on this entire map. So if they're not holding this point right here, the Nano coming in.
There's a lot of ults coming in. Minefield over the top as well is going to pick up Dancy, so that's a huge opening play by DMT. And that, amazing!
Come on,
incredible work there. Come on, bro, set it up, and DMT with the slam made sure no one was getting away with that one. There's an amazing 1-2 punch from the tank line of the Bears there.
Come on, bruh! That's not legal! That should not be allowed! The 4K coming through! That's what I like to see. That is some coordination, and that is a beautiful Diva Bomb shutting down Golden Mario's second push. And we're going to see the third push coming in here though, and there isn't a really old advantage here, so this is going to be a lot harder to hold.
Yeah, DMT going down early there. However, Ray pulls out the Primal and takes out Damesty. They are going to go for the res on that, and Not Rob is able to get it despite the Primal Winston rampaging around. That's a huge EMP, however. Almost all of the members of Golden Mario get picked up by that one, and the kills are definitely going to come through.
Oh, okay, inside the backline.
Maybe not. No, the Golden Mario are actually coming back from this one quite well. Gamestein picks up 2 with his Primal, and he's not done as he makes his way back towards the payload, gets Not Rob to safety, providing a target. Unfortunately, Not Rob gets picked up by Command Bro once again, but it looks like the defenders are running out of steam here. They're not getting the trade kills they need. They need to do a bit more to stop this payload before it gets the cap. Here comes Ray once again, jumping right on top of Danzy. A lot of pressure on there, but the peel is real. Danzy does get picked up. DMT jumps in and picks up Striker as well. They're finally managing to get back control of this fight in the courtyard, but it's taking a lot of resources to do it, and we are going to see the retreat there from Golden Mario.
And that feels so bad. GameSty played that fight so well, picking up both supports and one of the DPSs, and he solo killed 3 of them. But the Bears managed to get back in time and push him off. So that is I don't know, is that some misjudged target prioritization?
I think it just comes down to how low a DPS comp it is, and we are seeing some adjustments out of them to bring out some more front-loaded damage to try and end the fights a bit quicker.
So, well, honestly, watch GameSty on the stove. He's been playing out of his mind, and we've seen him play 3 different characters.
Ooh, there goes the crush. GameSty taken out as well. Early kills.
5.
There's the Transcendence from Zone just to keep everyone healthy.
2.
Fight.
1.
And it's just a couple of members now of Golden Mario on the payload trying to buy time. The Diva Bomb is going to make it very difficult, and there's an EMP as well. Perhaps a bit of a risky overcommit, but it's paying off anyways because no one is going to make it onto this payload, and the Bears have tied it up.
Damn! So we saw an absolutely brilliant performance from Golden Mario in the first point. The shutout happening. 2-0 on Lijiang Tao. The Bears turn it right around and be like, no, we're not running out of steam, we're not tilted, we're going to do this. And here's this Diva Bomb, the 4K coming through, holding this point. The Bears played this so well, and it's going to go to the next map. And so
absolutely, and you have to say, not only did Golden Mario play incredible on Lijiang, they played incredible on their defense.
Yes.
They held it before second. They were doing really well, but unfortunately the Bears just turn around and go, okay, we didn't catch second, that's fine, we're not going to let you catch first. And they absolutely shut out Golden Mario. It looks like we will be going over to Hanamura next as we make our way over to Assault. So let's see what more we have in store for these teams, because this is shaping up to be an amazing match.
it is! And so this is going to be Golden Mario choosing the Hanamura. The dive comp, usually what people will be running here, and so I want to really see if on the defense there is a Mei. If there is a Mei on the defense, they have to run dive. There is no way around it unless you can have perfect team synergy to Lucio's speed boost through. And I don't think we're going to see that level of coordination come through. So I think the attacking team is going to sit on a dive. And just, for this first point on Hanamura, you just have to go in. You can't be scared. You don't have to worry about losing fights. You just have to go in. This first point is how many fights can you have in the shortest period of time? And can you choose to use dry runs effectively, not pop any ults, and make the other team use too many ults? And that's what I really want to be seeing out of these teams.
Absolutely, and it looks like we will be seeing Not Rob on the Mei. Snoats being a very common defense here, but GameSty is going to be reprising the Junkrat. That is an awful lot of choke pressure on this first point. On the attacker side, at the moment, they are indicating no. That's as I say that, song swapping over to the Bastion. I wonder if they're going to stick with that. DMT, I imagine, going to be doing some scouting on the Sombra, but he has been playing a lot of Sombra, So we can expect to see
So,
that. They will be running the
this
triple
strat.
support.
This strat, GameSty pushing really far up, and it's
Oh.
going to get speeded back out with the Lucio, and it's going to be Ray getting picked out right at the start. This is going to be another 15 seconds added to this first push. That is a brilliant play from GameSty. Keep an eye on this man. He's been playing out of his mind in this series. The other person
Absolutely.
I
And
really
look
want
at that ult charge already towards the Riptide. 38%, and we're not even 30 seconds in. He's going to have that Riptide up during the first fight, especially if he continues to lay down this much damage. And that is absolutely devastating for the attackers to try and push into.
Yeah. The other person you really need to keep an eye out for is not Rob, because this wall... No, it's not going to be a choke wall! No, not Rob, what are you doing? That could have been a team fight right there, won by not Rob.
Crunch as Sniker gets counterpinned. That's devastating, but the kills still overwhelmingly coming through in favor of the defenders. They will have Striker coming back, though. There is an opportunity here if the members of the Bears are able to get a quick reset. However, there's Zaya and Kamumbra under a lot of pressure there. Is going to make it away safely, though, but there is an opportunity here to get back before Striker, or there was, but Netcrush has acted him through. It is going to be a 6-on-6 fight.
Yep, so that is great play from the side of Netcrush. The team comms right there just to be like, hey, I need a taxi. If I don't get back in time, this is going to be at the point. So great comms there from Golden Mario.
So here now on the Widowmaker is going to provide a lot of pressure, however, on that high ground. Not a lot of tools available. DMT also swapped over to the Wrecking Ball and is just playing hit and run tactics. They're just poking apart the defenders right now. This is getting very spread out, which is absolutely great for the attack. Striker gets taken out. DMT has been picked up in the trade. However, this definitely favors the attackers at this point. And here comes the push through. The Zahir picks up Danzy as well. Here comes that Riptire, but it doesn't manage to save the day. He's going to get sniped out of the air. That's a huge May ult. GameSty trying to go ham to win this one back. Doesn't quite manage it. Zahir finally finds the mark, and that should be a point A cap.
So again, GameSty coming in with the 2 kills off the back of that May ultimate. And unfortunately, the supports just died a little bit too fast and didn't have the healing coming through. Those split fights, DMT doing a lot of work on this Wrecking Ball, just knocking people out, and I gotta say, just everything came together right there for the Bears. And I now really want to see, are they gonna go for the high ground push or the low ground push? Are they just gonna run it straight down, being, we've got 5 minutes on the clock. We can make Golden Mario start using these extra ults. Are they gonna use Danzy's Ana? Are they gonna use Striker's Earth Shatter? And here we're gonna see if they are gonna commit these ults.
Okay, well, they're diving into the point now, and there goes Netcrush down very early, but they are going to commit the Graviton there. Zahir continues to be uncontested on this Widowmaker. He's cleaned up both the supports. Striker goes for the Shatter, but the bubble very nicely keeps DMT from getting slammed. And there goes Striker, all the kills coming through in favor. That's going to be a late sound barrier from Netcrush, just trying to keep this point alive. Now they've committed the Nano onto the Zaya, full-on Furry, just trying to keep this going.
Super high charge.
On Andy, which is absolutely what they need, but that is only 1 kill. The rest of the attackers still alive and running rampant onto this point. So he is still free-firing down from that Widow. Gangster's Tire gets killed by a combination of the Primal Winston and another shot from that Widowmaker. And while the trickle is good and they're keeping the point alive, unfortunately, they are getting ground down here from the defense, and the attackers will be very shortly finishing out this cap because they just are not able to deal any meaningful damage here to the attackers. We are just seeing the Bears all over this point, just raining damage down upon them. And while the stall game is strong, they're getting people out there, they're buying time, but they're not getting any trade kills whatsoever. They're playing for time here, and they're getting a lot of it, but unless they get something more going on here, it is inevitable that it will be capped. GameSty now back on the Moira gets picked up as well, and that will finally be the cap.
Yep, and one thing I gotta say, the Bears did really well. They stayed on point. Each person on point is 1 second to the spawn timers of Golden Mario, and that just stops those staggers so well. 5 people on point, Widowmaker on the high ground, and Widowmaker was just entirely uncontested for that entire fight. Just bang, 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 supports are dead. The supports couldn't get into those fights just to even heal the tanks because there's just the pressure.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see Not Rob staying on the Mei after the first point went up. They didn't have Blizzard, they just used it, and Zahir was already on the Widow prior there. They knew they needed some answer to the Widowmaker, and they just decided not to bring one out, and they get punished for it.
Yeah, so Peronius, would you rather have had a Genji? Would you rather have had the Winston Diva? Or would you rather have just the tanks just dove it up and just ignored the rest of their team? Because as their team comp was, they either had to contest point or deal with the Widowmaker. They couldn't do both. And contesting point is what they chose to do.
Oh, definitely that in the stall phase, yeah, but they had time before the stall phase, before they were on the back foot, to set up a defense there, and they chose to keep running the Mei instead of bringing out some answer to that Widow, so they put themselves in that position.
Most unfortunate for Golden Mario there, though they now have their turn at Retribution. We're going to see if the series stays as close as it currently is, for 1-1 to both of these teams. Lijiang Tower, the control point over to Golden Mario, and the escort map, Dorado to the Bears. We're now on the second point of Haramura, and we're going to see how this one goes. Is it going to stay?
Here comes DMT with the commit, gets a lot of people with that slam. That's going to do a bit of disruption, but not a lot of follow through here. He's actually going to go back in. That could be risky. He gets hit with a good anti-nade, but he's going to roll away safely. And that early kill onto Danzy there from the Zahir. That's going to be crucial. Striker's still committing in deep, despite losing his Lucio. He is going to be sent off the map there. Son getting the credit for that one. But it's only a matter of time for these last few members to be cleaned up here.
Yep, Fallen Fury going to manage to bubble themselves and try and get out. Come on, Bravo, going really deep and probably going to lose the mech because of it. Very unfortunate. And we're going to see them actually get down, and the mini div have taken down. This is going to be a really good stagger. Golden Mario going to be back in time to actually make use of Mamara being dead here.
Yeah, here comes the push now as they begin edging their way forwards. Dive coming through from DMT and Ray, trying to disrupt that. The Zahir has been taken out, which is a huge opening kill from the attackers, just continuing to stagger this out. Nano onto Ray is going to make him a lot harder to kill, and he pops the Primal as well, really doubling down on that one. He's going to try and kill that Anna, does pick up Not Rob, but Son and Andy have already gone down during this. DMT is going to pull out the minefield, try and create a dead space on the point, but the kill's still coming through in favor of Golden Mario here. This is their point to control now, and it really is up to the Bears to try and make the end of it. But no, they will get cleaned off. This will be a point A cap.
It will be, and now the question is, are Golden Mario just going to run it straight through that front door? And are they going to be able to take this? Because at the moment, the time difference isn't too big.
That is a huge snowball, though. That is a lot of ults primed to come raging into this second point.
6 ults. I would really pick all the ults just to be dropped in this first point. Though, at the moment, the Bears are playing a super split, and they can't just pop ults. Diana going down, Not Rob! 2 picks, and this isn't even going to be, this is going to be a dry push.
Yeah, that's huge plays there from the defenders. Really nice dynamite from the Zahir, and follow through with Andy from the Anna as well, just putting down so much AOE damage before the fight even begins. Then DMT dives in as well, just absolutely devastating.
So Peronius, that should not be physically possible. There was 6 ults on the side of Golden Mario, and they popped only 1.
Yeah, absolutely, but this is sort of the downside. They don't have the Diva there to eat up some of that damage. That said, we are going to have the Diva Bomb committed there into the hallway. Doesn't quite get anything, but DMT putting a lot of pressure onto Striker. Striker actually goes for the Shatter straight into the bubble. I don't know what he was doing there, but they picked up the Zahir and Son here. They still have an opportunity to drive this one through. There's the EMP coming through. DMT now in a lot of trouble, and come on, bruh. Both of them getting hit. Bob's on the point as well. This is going to be hard to keep alive. Ray's Primal has ended as well. But here comes another Bob back from the defenders. Sound barrier is being committed. Fallen Fury grabs, and Son just pops the trance to stay alive. This is what they need to try and do to keep the point from getting captured until reinforcements can come through. But the attackers still have absolute control of this space. They're all alive. That said, we do have Netcrush finally going down there. But it's not enough yet. Kamabra getting hit with a nano just to keep that Diva alive. But once again, The attackers have absolute control of this point. They are just cleaning up one after another. Kamambra does get a nice boop onto Striker. It's going to be a while for that to come back, and this is the opportunity to turn it around. And turn it around they do. They go aggressive. They're picking up the kills. Striker has made it back and will slam Son into a wall, but Necrush has gone down in the meantime as well. This Diva Bomb will pick up Not Rob. Really nice plays there, and they will get control back without giving up a tick.
So DMT coming in actually really big there with that Wrecking Ball. Managed to push Striker out of the way so the Diva Bomb would hit Not Rob. It feels bad, man. You're behind the shield and just get knocked out. Though, that fight there, they're so close fights. I'm surprised the tick wasn't taken. And at the moment, the Bears are now currently in the lead. They have the 2 points, they've got the time advantage. They're now 20 seconds up in time. And this actually might end up being a full hold. It has the potential for it. 3 minutes on the clock, so this is another 4 or 5 fights. We just need to see how these ults are going out. And
here comes the dive once again, and a lot of pressure on those stairs. The minefield perhaps not quite landing as much on the stairs as they would have liked to properly take advantage of that, but still a lot of damage being put onto the attackers. They're forced to back off a bit and try and heal up. Here comes a Bob, but he falls down onto the lower level. He's going to be very hard for him to get it done. Meanwhile, the defenders pull out their own Bob, and he's going to be much more positioned to zone people out of this point. Danzy actually split off from his team, and a lot of trouble there in the sidelines. Here comes Necrush with the EMP, and come on, Brad is having a bad day there between EMP and Grav. Just going to get cleaned up there, but the kills are coming through for Golden Mario here. Let's see if they can start building some progress, because they've lost a lot of people. No, they will have to back out here. GameSide sticking around, however, that's possibly going to be punished.
Yep, and this is the thing about 2CP. Oh, we're going to see the charge onto DMT. DMT might actually be taken down here. He's now 1 health. No, he's going to get out! DMT, 100 health, going to live. But what I was going to say is 2CP really is a team communication game mode. Individual skill will only carry you so far. If you don't have good target focus, this is what is tested on this map. If you can't kill someone fast enough and change target, you're going to lose a 2CP map. And we're going to see a little bit of a change come out. GameStar is showing us
he actually gets punished as he goes in. Not Rob has been picked up as well, so the attacker's still going to need to back off here, and that DMAC onto full-on Furry, absolutely crucial. But you're 100% right with what you see, and we're seeing just out of the Bears here, they've got some really coordinated set plays with how they're initiating in. Just drop in the Dynamite, the Wrecking Ball Slam, and the Anti-Nades just put a huge amount of damage down in a very short amount of time, and then Ray is there to follow up with the Winston to try and clean it up. So they've got some really nice defensive set plays, and it's definitely working out for them.
Yep, so we're going to see GameStar on yet another hero. We've seen him play 2 different roles, 3 different heroes, and now he's going to be on this Reaper. We're going to see if he can actually deal with these tanks.
Diva Bomb doesn't quite manage to pick anyone up in that corridor, but they have taken out Danzy, so that is again a huge start for the defense. The attacker's going to lose Not Rob as well, and they're going to need to go for the reset. They've only got 40 seconds left on the clock, and now we've got Ray going in deep trying to pick up the extra kills, and wow, this is just, you hate to see it.
Yeah, you do. And it nearly looks like Golden Mario have run out of answers. With the first point, they had the momentum, and we wanted to see them carry that through to the next game. It was utterly shut dead by the Bears, and I don't know if they can, regain what they once had. 10 seconds left in this clock, they have to touch us, and here comes
the tire, but here comes Bob on the point as well. Necrush and Danzy already down is looking very disastrous. Ray does get picked up by the tire, as well as Kamambra getting demexed, but this is still looking... Actually, that is a tick going through. Striker has presence on the point, but there will be the kill. The defenders all just spread out, waiting for the respawns to come through, waiting for the tank line to come back, and that will be the end of that one.
Yep. The set play from the Bears there was utterly wonderful. You had the entire team split into 2s, and each on a different high ground. So you couldn't effectively ult them off. Yes, Golden Mario had 6 ults. Who are you going to ult? At most, you're going to get 2 ults with any one of yours. We're going to see this play the game full on Fury on the Zarya, and he's just going to be sitting here on quite nice high energy. and just melting people down. And this is what I wanted to see more. At the moment, those seem like the Golden Mario's two best players that just keep consistently making great plays.
Yeah, absolutely. But unfortunately, just not enough to carry it through. And it looks like the Bears, they're looking really dominant here. We will be going over to Hybrid next. So there is still going to be an opportunity for Golden Mario to bring it back, but Bears are now at match point. This
Yeah.
is their game to win, and they are definitely in the driver's seat here.
Yep, so Golden Mario are going to be able to pick this next map out of King's Row or Eichenwald, and it looks like it's going to be a KR, that King's Row, and Pernius, this is my favorite map
I think this
of
is
all time.
everyone's favorite map of all time. Let's face it, there was never any chance of this going to Eichenwald. Of course, it's going to King's Row. No one would ever take it to anywhere if King's Row was an option. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here.
Yep.
Are we going to see Golden Mario bring it back to how we saw at the start of this match, where the Bears just going to continue to run roughshod over this game? Because they seem to have turned around on basically between their Dorado defense and their attack. They seem to have put some fuel onto the fire and kicked it up to a higher gear, and they have not slowed down since then.
Yep. And we are going to see them bring back in the original player. The Bears are going to pick up Boone, so they are going to have their full six-man now. Is this going to be enough for them to be able to actually take these points back?
Well, it's interesting. It's an interesting decision. Obviously, it is their original player coming back in, so there is the advantage there. But he's coming in cold, and they were on a hot streak. That
They
could
were.
actually hurt their momentum. It's really going to be a lot of pressure on Boone here to be able to keep up the performance coming in cold, so that the Bears are able to get this one across the line.
Mm. Especially on a King's Row, where everything is viable at some point during this map. So in this first point, snipers reign supreme. Second point, nice close alleys. See those goats come out, or the reapers, or the farrers just raining death down. And then that third point, long sight lines, but also close corners, where you can just kind of play a bit of everything. This map, sorry, this map is just mwah. And I really want to see what these teams bring to the table and decide how they're going to play this map and what innovations they're going to bring to what the defending team is going to be playing it.
Now enter.
It's something we haven't seen tonight yet is the quad DPS lineup, and that has proven absolutely devastating when properly executed here. So it's going to be interesting to see if either of these teams are comfortable enough. It is a hard team comp to pull out because obviously you require a very high level of mechanical skill from all of your players there. You've got people needing to flex from their usual roles onto a DPS hero. Usually it involves your Diva player playing something like Tracer or Sombra, and your Zen player going over to a long-range hit scan or projectile hero that can be absolutely devastating when it's well played. It's going to be interesting to see if we do see anything like that come out from either of these teams, because something we saw a lot in the Open Div finals was that a lot of teams just had no answer to this composition when it got brought out. But it looks like, at least from the defense here, we are going to be running the tried, tested, and true Zenyatta Goats.
Though, Pernius, on that same basis, it isn't just mechanical skill for the quad DPS. It is also a lot about communication, being able to call who you're hitting, which target is priority, who's getting healed, and sightlines. People really often forget about the lines of sight. If two people can see somebody, that's half your damage gone if you're running a quad DPS, especially when you call a priority target. So not only is it the mechanical skill to play off roll, but it's also the communication skills to be, hey, this is how we play it, this is where we're standing, and the focus to be able to call the targets. So that is one of the big drawbacks is it's just so hard to execute well, especially in this level of game, and especially when the games are this close. This is going to be currently 2-1 to the Bears, and It looks super close. Maybe 55 to 45 in favor of.
That said, from what we're seeing from the Bears, what they're picking in spawn, they are going to be running a triple DPS comp here. Son and Andy on the heels, but it is going to be basically a variation of that quad DPS comp. It's going to be interesting to see if they can pull it off, because Son is going to be very vulnerable there. Usually, the big advantage to the quad DPS is that Goats cannot run onto any target on that team, and the Zenyatta just does not have the mobility tools that you normally see on that lineup. So we'll see if he's able to get punished there by this defensive team.
I would agree entirely. I'd much rather see the Moira coming out just to be a little bit more safe, especially when you've got Andy and the Zahir on the farm USC, and Son should be trying to basically solo heal the rest of the team. And this is Zenyatta.
Ray's gone in, but he's missed his opening slam. He does get out and get healed up though. There comes the slam now, and there's the hack onto Striker as well. That's going to be a lot of pressure on the defenders now, as once again the attackers looking to push forwards and take space.
Oh,
there's Zahir getting two with a single rocket. That's huge. GameSty has been picked up by Boone, or rather Boone has been picked up by GameSty, I should say, and Necrush has picked up Ray, so the defender's punching back as well, but the attackers have spawn advantage, and this comp trades up very well. Zahir does get knocked out of the sky there, however, from a combination of the tanks, but GameSty has been taken out by Son. There's the res onto Zahir, and the defense starting to crumble a little bit. They are getting the reinforcements back here though. Striker is making his way back into the point, but Danzy's already gone down. Kills are still coming through, and there's the minefield coupled with the EMP means that he's not going to be able to use the shield to clean those up. And there's a hack onto the D.Va as well. Full and Furry struggling to get out of there, is going to back away in those corridors and get out without losing mech, but that will be a decisive point A cap.
Yep, as Golden Mario here going to be able to free push this street phase. They are currently one down, and Brigger's stuck on the right hand corner. Are they going to call this out? Is not Rob going to be taken down here?
Well, it's a very, very dangerous position to be in, and but it looks like the team is there to cover the retreat. Zahir actually gets punished for that one as well, so that is potentially going to be an opportunity now for Golden Mario to reassert control of this payload. However, Striker is sort of up by himself at the moment. D.Va Bomb is going to get over the top. There's a grab. They do pick up Son, but one kill from two ults is maybe not what they were looking for. They commit the Brigitte ult as well. This is proving to be a very expensive fight, and Dancy actually gets picked up by Andy as well. So they've won the fight, they've taken control of the payload, but I don't know if they got enough out of what they invested there.
Yeah, a good call to use the D.Va Zarya combo, but unfortunately not executed properly. D.Va ulting first, Zarya ulting late, and if the Zarya ulted maybe another 3 seconds, 4 seconds earlier, that would have been a 3 or maybe even a 4 kill from that D.Va bomb.
Ooh, Ray actually gets stunned out of the minefield there, so isn't able to get that one through. However, Boone picks up GameSty nonetheless, so this is still the initiative very much in the hands of the attackers here. Striker's shield is non-existent, and that is just going to freeze Zahir up to absolutely punish him for it. Does get taken out by Necrush, but you'd be happy with that trade every day of the week, especially with the res available. And there's an EMP coming through from DMT. Does actually get picked up by that one, but it doesn't matter. Necrush, very high charge, getting a lot of late kills. He is actually going to get away alive as well, but that will be a second point cap.
That's huge. So you look at Necrush's actual health, right? That was less than 50 health, and the shield's regen over top of. Necrush was so close to dead, and now Necrush, from not dying in that fight, nearly has grab. So look for that grab, and look for the combo. I don't know what they're going to combo with. Maybe a D.Va ulti, hopefully, because it looks like the D.Va's just about to ult. And there it is.
Well, there's the D.Va bomb over the top, so that's not going to be the combo, but it's okay, because that is a triple there, as Andy, Zahir, and Son all get picked up with that one. That is a bit reminiscent of earlier on, way back in Lijiang Tower, because that's the same 3 as well.
Yep. And guys, this could be a very hard-fought third point. So there are 3 points in this map, which are quite hard to take. The first point is second.
Here comes the commitment. Ray going in
and
with
now
the bomb.
right
There's
this corner.
D.Va bomb over the top as well. Placement is good, but the Lucio speed boost does allow them to get out. That said, Striker has been picked off as the team did need to scatter from all of those effects. Not Rob going down as well. This is looking very good for the attackers. Minefield is being committed, but GameSize is going to clean that up with the Transcending Zen.
That's nice. GameSty, again, playing the third role, played off tank.
There's the grab coming through, but the trance is there as well. Shatter from Striker just to knock people down, but the Zen is already tranced. That said, they are still getting the kills through they need, and they will repulse the attack here and set up another defense.
Yep, I gotta say, from Golden Mario, I would be really swapping off one of your tanks just for a hit scan. An Ash, a McCree, even a Soldier here. Because the Zahir is kind of getting free reign. At the moment, Full of Fury basically just has to defense matrix the rockets and hope for the best. Or hope that the Zahir is going to play really silly, play some close range, and, you know, hoping for someone to misplay isn't what you should be doing. You should be assuming people are going to play perfectly.
There goes another Diva Bomb over the top. It's going to pick up Son and Andy again. Fallen Furry is just picking up this backline with these bombs. Maybe they need to consider swapping over to a Lucio just so they've got some sort of defense against that, because these slow-moving supports are just getting bullied.
And it's terrible to watch. This is the third Diva ulti from Fallen Fury, which has been game-changing. Not game-winning, but definitely a game-changing. DM2, though, going to sit in this backline, he has ult, he's right behind him, and he's got EMP. Care for this DMT, here it comes.
There it is. Big EMP, does pick up a lot of members, and Ray pushing through to try and follow up on that, but the retreat is good. They managed to back off. GameStone now pulling out the trances to get everyone healed up and able to aggress forwards. Ray gets cleaned up by Striker there, and DMT, still throwing a lot of pressure to Striker, is going to be able to take him down, tag teaming with Son, but Son gets picked up by GameStar as well, and once again, the defense is holding strong. We need to see some sort of adaptation out of these attackers because they're just not getting anything done.
I entirely agree with that one. But what do they need to change? What is wrong with their team comp? Is it the Sombra? Are they not comboing properly? There's a main root cause here, and we can't really see what it is.
Well, I think they're too slow. They're playing without Lucio into a Lucio, and they're not able to push in time. Sound barrier is going to save a lot of people there, and here comes the Shatter. Gets Neck Crush, but not much else, and that's a huge counter Shatter to knock Ray down and make it so he couldn't shield from that Diva Bomb. That is another fight win there, and a really nice 1-2 punch there coming out from the defense.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think at the moment, right, that the Bears that Golden Mario really need to change a bit of their team.
No, it is the Bears on attack.
No, is it the Bears on the attack?
Yeah, DMT's on Bears.
I'm talking about the Farah isn't quite working here. They've now swapped Boom to the Saria, which is one of the changes I
There's
really
the EMP. Unfortunately, it doesn't pick up GameStar, so he's able to just barrage there and keep everyone nice and healthy. They've lost DMT as well. They have managed to get the DMAC onto the Diva, but that's not quite enough. And once again, Andy and Boone going down. There's a Shatter coming through. Desperation Shatter from Ray doesn't get anything done. And it looks like it's just going to be DMT on the payload, trying to keep it one man against the world, trying to keep it alive. It's not going to be able to happen. Andy finally swapping over to the Moira, not able to get the touch in. Boone falling just short of getting that, and that will be the payload stopped.
Yep, and that is going to be a 2.5 point push. That's really nice. There are a lot of times on road which you just get stuck in second. Second point is the bit I really want to point out here. I do believe Golden Mario will be able to take this first point. It will definitely take time. I don't expect first push take, but I believe that Golden Mario will take this first point, and is going to be decided by the street phase of King's Road. Narrow streets should make or break this push. So,
absolutely. I mean, we've seen the Bears in this sort of position before. We saw it on Dorado, where there was a decent push against them. They got snuffed out. They weren't able to get the momentum going again, and they got stopped. And then they turn around and Phil held it. So we've definitely seen that they are a very dangerous defensive team. We saw them on the second point of Hanamura as well. Very dangerous defensive team. So we definitely cannot write them off here. They may not have pushed it all the way through, but I think it's safe to say they're stronger on the defense than they are on the attack. And so you still have to be absolutely worried if you're Golden Mario.
Yep, though I gotta say, I don't like the goats comp coming out of here, the Zen goats. I would really like a singular hit scan, just in case there's a Pharah, there's a Widowmaker, there's a Hanzo. They have nothing really to contest. Like, Full On Fury has to contest basically anything the bears throw at them on the high ground here. So, big asks here for the D.Va.
Oh, Zahir gets slept by Not Rob. That is absolutely a terrible place to be in if you're a Sombra, and he's going to get stuffed out there. DMT being taken down as well. So this is already looking very nice for Golden Mario as they surge forward to take control of this point. Striker's going to get a long charge onto the already destroyed D.Va mech. That's unfortunate. Didn't quite manage to pick up the little D.Va, but it's okay because he will get cleaned up there regardless. Andy is down as well, and there goes Ray. This will be an easy point A take.
Yep, and there was the clean fight I was talking about earlier. I do believe that first point is a lot about target focus, and we just saw some absolutely perfect target focus from Golden Mario there. They just went, hey, this is our next target, you're going to die now. You're not allowed to argue, just let it happen.
Absolutely, and I mean, getting an early sleep onto the flanking Sombra definitely didn't hurt there as well.
Not in the slightest. But here's what I was saying earlier. Streets is the phase we need to really look at.
Oh, it's a nice D.Va bomb placement, and it picks up 3! Full On Fury is devastating with these D.Va bombs. Andy and Son down again, and Boone as well. That'll be Ray taken out as they push forwards, and this should get them full control of the streets.
Yep, and they're just going to hold past third, not letting them contest at all. And I'm going to say, the quality of a D.Va play isn't really how well you play D.Va. It's not your shifts, it's not what you kill. It's, can you ult well and get value out of your ults, even if they're zoning ults and they don't kill anybody, right? And also, can you eat the high priority ults? Full On Fury this time is just saying to them, hey, we're up in the queue with these ults. So here comes the ult.
There's the grab being committed. A huge counter from Strikers is going to knock everyone onto the ground. It didn't even matter that, well, yeah, they committed the Transcendence from game side just to make sure they got the cap. It wasn't even needed. Such a dominant fight there.
So the last game we cast, right, here, Peronius, both Ryans were really even. Very few shatters went through because both Ryans just had perfect shielding. Striker with that last ult just solely won that fight with that 5-man shatter. And we're gonna see
there goes Striker down early though. This is absolutely a chance to stabilize here on this third point. And Full On Fury caught behind enemy lines as well is going to get taken out. Now they're going to push forward. So that is a long pin onto Not Rob. This is a chance for Ray to, well, he's got the Earth Shatter up already, so he's not, in fact, building any ult charge off of this. And they've caught Striker out as well. He's in a world of trouble here. That's going to be another stagger kill onto the Reinhardt. Keep going. Push them all the way back to spawn. And that is absolutely what happens. They are now going to back up and give the space.
Yep, Golden Mario just going to sit in their spawn point and be like, hey, we don't want to die, we don't want to stagger, we're just going to get that
Look at Ray. Look at where he's set up.
Oh, the sneaky shot.
There it is! Huge shatter, whole team knocked down. Easy free fight win. Always check your corners, ladies and gentlemen, because you never know when Ray will be standing there with a big hammer.
Yeah, Bears playing that absolutely huge. They won the first fight and they won the second. It's going to be a minute shaved off the clock just for Ray's play right now. So, huge props to him. And he's now standing a little bit too far forward. He's going to pull back, and here we're going to see...
There's the grab. They've gone for the flank grab now. D.Va bomb over the top. Unfortunately, they don't get the timing right to pin the Rhine to stop the shield, but it didn't matter because all the kills still coming through. And Necrush going to get staggered out there as well. GameStar resetting off the map. That will be another team kill. And Ray now 85% to the shatter. They're going to have another ult rotation.
Yep, the Golden Mario now sitting on 4 ults, and now ult to combo. So, look for this Neck Crush, Cesaria grab. Look for this D-roll, and here comes the D-roll. Is it going to be another 3-man? No.
Doesn't manage to get anything for that one. Does get Boone out of mech though. That's huge. Now they can just grab for free. There's the Shatter though. Gets it down before the grab goes through. There's the grab now, however, and a lot of pressure there. Sound Barrier committed to try and keep people up. DMT is actually swapping onto the Bastion here. This is going to be very huge because defense is starting to crumble here. That could be absolutely what's needed to get this fight back under control. He's set up. Ray has been taken out by the Fire Strike, but DMT is just wailing in damage. Does get killed, but not before the DMX come through. It is now desperation time, and it is just a matter of trying to keep this payload alive. Striker is super deep and getting bullied by a Brigitte. This might actually be a chance to turn it around. Gets a pin onto Andy, and no one's on the payload. That will be Golden Mario picking this up. We're going to a game 5.
Wow, talk about a redemption arc for both of these teams. Golden Mario really giving it all they've got here. So for those just tuning in, we're actually going to see this play of the game. That was a huge 5-man shatter into the grab. And we're going to see Striker just swing away and just clean that one all the way out. Really nice. But this is the redemption arc from Golden Mario. They've recently lost to the Bears in Identity Overwatch Grand Finals, losing there, and Vote now taking them to the Game 5. That's how close both of these teams are now. And it's going to be the ADG Bears choosing between... Oh, it's not even choosing between, it's just going to be
No, I believe we're just going to Ilios, according to mine. I think the team's actually just asking what map we're going to for control, but it will be Ilios that we play on. And it's all going to be decided here on, on the, I'd say the streets of Ilios. There's not really much in the way of streets. Well, there is.
Peronius?
Yes?
Who won Lijiang Tower?
Who won Lijiang Tower? Well, that one was Golden Mario.
And what kind of point was Lijiang Tower?
Well, Lijiang Tower is a control map, as we know.
And what kind of point is Ilios?
Ilios also a control map, and Golden Mario are coming into this one with the momentum of just taking King's Row.
So, what we need to look out for here then is Fallen Fury's Diva Ultimates on this control point on Ilios, where he did win the first point entirely based on his Diva bombs. So, this is going to be the last map of tonight. The 5th map. 2-2. This game decides it all. These teams are going to be playing their hearts out, and this is the time where teams' mentals are now very much getting stressed. If you lose this first point, and you can't recover your mental, you've lost the game already. There is no coming back from that. So, this first point is going to be one of the major deciders of this last series.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to be make or break for these teams. It's been a long match for them. All of these players, no doubt, getting tired. It's the end of a long day. Many of these people probably had something on during the day, be it studies, be it work, what have you. Or maybe, much like myself, they spent the whole day watching the Overwatch League and getting hyped. Either way, they've come into this, probably at the start of this game, already tired, and then it has been nothing but a slog and hard work since then.
An hour and a half of gaming. And we're going to see some of the Zen Goats from Golden Mario. And we're going to see this here and Andy playing this for Mercy, which we've seen them on over and over again, which is actually a really, really good, place to pick this for Mercy.
Oh, and Not Rob going down there early is absolutely crucial to try and swing this one back in favor of the Bears. GameStar getting knocked off the map as well by Ray on the Wrecking Ball. I think that's the first time we've seen Ray on the Wrecking Ball. And, Ray putting in a lot of work from there, and that's really going to make things up, although he almost dives himself off the map. There goes Striker off the edge. Son gets picked up by Danzy in return. Huge boots, but Ray on this Wrecking Ball, I don't think we've seen him on the Wrecking Ball before. I think DMT was usually on the Wrecking Ball with Ray on the Winston, but damn, put this man on Wrecking Ball.
The Bears are going to take this first point now at 15%, and I gotta say, I like Golden Mario's call, just to jump off the map, call the fight, lost, and that's something I really like, the decisiveness of that. They are going to come through this first main choke point though, and here comes the major MP.
Manages
This
the
is a good
MP,
one,
absolutely. And the minefield cutting off the retreat as well is going to put a lot of pressure on these players. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and unfortunately the kills coming through. They've lost Gamstar, they've lost Not Rob. Diva Bomb over the top from Boone seems unnecessary and doesn't really clean anything up, but that will still be a successful fight win there in favor of the Bears.
The Bears catching Golden Mario between a rock and a wrecking ball. And what are you going to do with that? You go forward, you get hit by Pharaoh Rockets. You go backwards, you walk through a minefield. And I don't know about you, but I don't particularly like walking through minefields. This is going to be a really close high ground push here. And
Here just deleting the supports there. Does get punished, but the damage is done. It's going to be very hard to push through without the Anna and the Lucio there. And here comes Andy for the res as well. Unfortunately, without the Lucio, it's also very hard to make a coordinated retreat. GameSty is going to get picked up there, and Ray actually goes perhaps a little too deep, under a lot of pressure, is going to back away there.
Don't overextend.
A successful fight win nonetheless from the Bears. We're at 90% now. There's only one chance left.
One chance left, and there's going to be the charge to try and get...
Oh, look at Nick Crush! He gets booted off the map, throws a grab just as a Hail Mary because he knows he's not getting back into this fight. Does manage to pick up Son, but they wanted more from that one. And Boone actually managing to get killed from the remaking Diva as well. Gets DMX'd by it. That is going to be the successful fight win, but wow, that was close. It took all 6 ultimates, however, to flip that point.
I don't even know if that was actually a successful fight win, or they just said, hey, with 99% of the point, we can just give this up, and we've got another minute or two just to recontest this and just win it. Like, why would you need to hold that point and try and pop it? Oh, DMT going in with a huge
DMT. And GameSty immediately deleted, as it's often the case. Here comes the follow through. They're trying to pressure down these members. Not Rob. Really struggling to stay alive there in the middle of it. Doing a little tango there, just trying to dodge rockets. Does eventually get picked up. They have managed to knock Boone out of mech, however. And, well, the fight is a bit more even than it really should have been, considering how strongly it started. But Striker has finally been taken down, and the res on the DMT should mean the Bears start to win this one back. Andy has pulled out the belt as well, just trying to keep everything going up here. GameSty on the Brigida, fighting tooth and nail in melee here. Netcrush has been taken out by DMT. Diva Bomb over the top though, does pick up Zahir, and Ray gets booped off as well in that opportunity the bomb created. So it actually looks like now Golden Mario taking control of the fight, and that's going to be the retreat.
Yep, and it's now at 2/3 of the point taken, just hitting 7%. It now looks like it's on for the Bears to actually retake this point. They don't have any ults, and DMT does indeed have this Sombra ultimate. This needs to be the most clutch. Here it comes out.
So it's a huge one, and here comes Zahir with the follow through. Takes up Necrush, takes out Gansu. Striker is down, and that is going to be a full and clean team wipe. It's just Danzy alone now, trying to keep the point alive, but he's not going to be able to. And with 99% there, it's not going to be much longer. That Lucio is still alive, does get hacked out though. That's going to be the end of his days. But he managed to buy enough time for the wrecking ball to make it back in. Minefield gets dropped, but doesn't matter. Too little, too late. And that will actually be the Bears picking up this one.
That will be the Bears. The ADJ Bears picking up the first point of Ellis. And we're gonna go to Ruins. Widows? Widows? We're the Widows. Zahir and Net Crushed are our Widows for today. Oh, sorry, but we're gonna have to keep a massive eye on these Widow duels, because who wins the Widow duel should actually be winning these fights.
Absolutely. He who controls the space controls the universe.
Yep. And this is going to be the redemption arc. Hopefully. I really want to see this go down to a 1-1 winner takes all. It's currently 2-2.
Ooh, shot onto each of them in the opening thing, but neither of them headshots. Both got each other's number. It's going to be interesting how that goes, but Ray on the Wrecking Ball could be the deciding factor here. And he gets booped off the map, never mind. But,
Boone is going to be the target here, though.
absolutely, and Boone almost sharing the fate there. A lot of forward pressure being put there. So here does get the trade kill back onto Necrush, though. That is an opportunity, but Boone has been demaxed. There's not a lot of point pressure available for the Bears. They're slowly getting ground back, and Zahir needs to start coming up big. Otherwise, it's only going to be a matter of time. Does manage to pick up Not Rob. Unfortunately, Andy has gone down in there as well. Ray has made it back on the Wrecking Ball, but the kills are still coming overwhelmingly in favor of Golden Mario here. And that just means they are eventually going to get this point flip. That said, we do finally see some kills coming back. Ray's picked up GameSty, and once again, Zahir wins the duel, takes out Danzy as well. Finally, there's the momentum beginning to shift, and the Bears are going to take control of this one. Striker has pulled out the Primal Rage just to deal with that Widowmaker. Unfortunately, there's no one else alive for his team, and that Wrecking Ball slam from Ray is going to send him back to spawn.
And Son walking away less than 15 HP. That's gotta feel absolutely terrible for Striker, especially with a Winston. As a Winston, he doesn't have to aim, especially when he's anti. So unfortunately, you're not gonna pick up the Lucio. But wow, that was a fight, and this Ruins on Elios. It's a really weird struggle. It's a who controls the space, who controls the sight lines, the long sight lines, but also the really close combat on this point, especially in a depression. Everybody on the defending team has to sit in the low ground of this point.
Here comes a bomb over the top, doesn't pick up anything, but there goes Andy off the map, so that is going to be a huge opening. They're going to pop the sound barrier there. Deadeye is being popped. There's a lot of ultimates dueling sound barriers. In fact, Necrush does take down Zahir, but unfortunately GameStone and Not Rob being taken down at the same time means that this fight is still anyone's game here. Necrush is still alive. He picks up Son as well. Someone needs to control this Genji, or he is going to control everyone else. DMT comes back in with a late EMP, but the reinforcements are actually coming through. So maybe it's not as late as I first believed, and it is still a 3-on-3 here on the point. Reinforcements coming through. Boone has gone down, but Andy and Suna made it back, and all throughout this time, the Bears are still building not ultimate percentage, they're still building point percentage. Ray is still alive, and Striker critically low there and antied, but it looks like maybe, just maybe, Golden Mario have the upper hand here. Ray drops the minefield, and Necrush almost ended up caught in the middle of that with the blade, manages to get out just in time, but unfortunately doesn't get as much done with the blade as he wanted, probably because of that. We're up to 90%. Zahir, once again, taken out by Necrush, but unfortunately, this fight is still not being won as quick as needed, and the members of the Bears are still reinforcing. Boone has lost his mech, but so has Full On Furry. Striker has gone down, DMT has gone down, Full On Furry has gone down, dueling sound barriers coming out. This is still anyone's game here. We have a Nano onto Necrush, just trying to build up that blade as quick as he can, and try and keep this one alive. Andy has gone down once again. These kills, still anyone's fight here. It is a 3v4 on this point. Striker has made it back on the Wrecking Ball, and finally, with that blade coming out from Necrush and the Diva Bomb over the top, I think finally we will see the commitment from Golden Mario to win that fight, but they used a lot of resources there to get that flip.
They did, but that was the fight. That was the end for them in this series if they lost that point, so they just had to commit everything. The Bears, though, currently DMT has the MP, Ray nearly has another minefield, and Boone 70% to that Diva Bomb. On the other side, the flip side, Danzy 75%, 76% to this Lucio sound barrier. I don't know if the Lucio sound barrier by itself can counter these ults, especially DMT's EMP. So
well, it depends on where he positions. If he manages to stay out of the EMP, he can absolutely use it to save the team. But obviously,
he gets caught in it.
He gets caught in it. That's it. It's going to be a big
Yeah,
minefield over the top from Ray. There's the EMP being committed. Diva Bomb over the top as well. Doesn't pick up anything, but GameSty is already down. There goes Striker as well. We are seeing the Bears muscle their way back onto this point. Ray has been taken out by Fallen Furry, but it may need more. Necrush gone down as well. Means that the members of the members of Golden Mario are starting to run out of members. They've lost both their supports. Striker has made it back on the wrecking ball. There's the Diva Bomb. Doesn't get anything, unfortunately, and GameStar is once again down. Striker's still alive on the wrecking ball, but he is the last hope, the last bastion of defense. Necrush does manage to get the dash onto the point, but no, that's going to be it, and they're not going to be able to get through. Not Rob, isn't fast enough, gets booped away by Ray, and that will be the Bears winning this series 3-2 and holding on to their position as the dominant of these two teams.
The close points in the series. We're gonna now see the Zahir come in through this top window and pop this Pharaoh. This is gonna be our player of the game for today. The triple kill, and look at this. He just goes through and actually takes out 5 of the members of Golden Mario to hold that point. Absolutely huge play by him.
Yeah, absolutely. Just incredible plays from Zahir. Once he got going, he really got going on that Farah. And we questioned it early on because he wasn't having the impact he needed, but he definitely woke up, and in those later maps was absolutely devastating on just about any hero he pulled out.
Yep. I do have to say, I really did want that last Elios match to go to the best of 3. I wanted Golden Mario to go to that, and I wanted it to come down to the last map of the last series, you know? However, not to be. The Bears are going to say, hey, we can actually play Control Point. Don't look at what happened on Elios. Elios was in our map. No, not Elios. Li Zhang was in our map.
Yeah, Li Zhang. I mean, they had a sub. They were still getting used to how they play together. They were adapting to that. They were warming up. They got it going, however, and that's a dominant win on Elios to...
Yeah. And I've got to say, Boone coming in on Kings Row, you know, the sub leaving, Boone, the original member of their team, coming in, and, you know, we were a little bit skeptical about him coming in cold, but he did pull out some great plays. So, the Bears going to take this one 3-2. Do you have any shout-outs to some of these players which just played out of their mind here, Peronius?
Well, I mean, you do have to give it out to Full On Furry with his consistent, incredible Diva Bombs. Just some really good placement of those. Unfortunately, not enough in the end to get Golden Mario across the line, but just some, absolutely incredible placements there. However, I also just really want to give it out to all of the members of the Bears when they're able to set up the set plays that we saw on Hanamura, where they know what they're doing, they've got a clear plan, an order of execution. They were just absolutely unstoppable when it came to actually executing that, and that is the sign of a great team right there.
Yeah. Though I also want to give a big shout out to GameSty. We saw him play Zenyatta. We saw him play Tank. We saw him play Reaper. We saw him play Junkrat. We saw him play Tracer. We saw him play Reaper. He just flexed onto every single role and played out of his mind on all of those roles. So I really do want to shout out GameSty as one of our MVPs for this map.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely agree with that as well. But anyways, that will be all from us this evening here. Thank you for tuning in for week 2 of Ascent. AOE will be back tomorrow night for the AAOL ladder, so please tune in at the usual time, 7 p.m. We'll be live then. That's going to be all from us here. I'm Pyronius. Joining me has been Akira, and thank you for watching.
Yep, and I just want to leave you guys with a good game.